For the last few months, I've been the target of a harassment campaign from McClung and Katiclyzm. They've been lying about me both privately and publicly and passing off huge false assumptions as fact when there is no evidence to support them.
Oh, we've never seen that happen. Not on YouTube. Of course not. Who would ever do something like that? Hey guys, Nathan Brendan Masters. Now, I might not be the most successful YouTuber in the world, but I do know how the game is played. To win at YouTube or social media in general, you need to get engagement. And of course, some creators will go through any lengths to stay relevant or go viral, even if it means spreading malicious lies and or false allegations. Now, sadly, this is nothing new, but sometimes the lies are so outrageous and so easily disproven that it's hard to ignore that it seems, that's being done intentionally. We've seen this before with creators like Ethan is Online, Denims, and obviously my favorite, In Praise of Shadows, aka Shadow Praise. You know who he is. From a business perspective, obviously I don't personally like this kind of thing, but from a business perspective, in my opinion, he did it the best. But stick around and I'll tell you how to see when this is happening and the specific reason these creators are doing it this way. And guys, this is a long one, so if you're about to go to bed, this one's for you. And you can rewatch it in the morning. Otherwise, just check out the cool art. This is a page from Curse Risen Unification. Now, for months, two drama channels, McClung and Katiclyzm, have waged a harassment campaign against Dankyjabo, aka Jesse, accusing him of being a misogynist and an abuse supporter, all without any solid evidence to back up their claims. Mainly because, their claims were made up. And I'll link his video. Some of it I'll be using here, obviously, but I'll link it in the description. I'll probably do the pinned comment thing. But this situation, for the most part, is actually over. What this video is about is how to spot these clout clowns when they make these kinds of videos. Now, it's hard to ask a YouTube commentary channel to have facts when even legacy media channels like Fox News and CNN themselves are sketchy sometimes, and some cases just straight up lying. But some of these claims could be simply proven or disproven with a simple YouTube or Google search.
The problem is that he makes almost only content, almost entirely, almost exclusively on content about either women being abused or abusive women. Like that's, if you scroll down, in the past 6 months, that's it.
This is ridiculous to try and paint my channel in a way where I only cover abusive relationships, and then go on to show a screenshot where only one of the 16 videos shown is about an abusive relationship, and to show that video twice in the same screenshot to make it look more like I cover them exclusively is so blatantly manipulative and hypocritical when you're calling me out for being a manipulative hypocrite. Of the 42 commentary videos that I have made thus far, only 3 of them are about abusive relationships. So to claim that this is the only type of content that I make is just one of the many lies that have been levied against me.
And if we're to take this at face value, he didn't go out of his way to research this claim. He fabricated this claim. Now, I don't want to specifically say he fabricated it, but someone seems to have done it. So we're not just talking about baseless assumptions or allegations. We're literally talking about fabricated evidence to make a point that wasn't there in the first place. But let's get into the second point. And this is something that I find hilarious. When the commentary channel attacks somebody for doing something that the commentator does themselves. We saw this in the In Praise of Shadow video where he's talking about the Hawaiian shirt and its connection to the Boogaloo Boys while also wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and there's no way in hell you can tell me that wasn't intentional.
And several have pointed to me as being the original and started the Hawaiian shirt thing. He wants to simultaneously be seen as distant from the organization, but still dresses like them on a daily basis.
So if the Hawaiian shirt is a symbol of the Boogaloo Boys, it's weird to have someone talking about that while wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I'm just throwing that out there. But is there something similar that we can find in this? Oh yeah. And not only is it similar, it's the exact same thing.
Right?
Sure,
They have
that's
the
probably
same thumbnail design.
if-
They have the same content design. They do the same
Yeah.
editing technique.
Maybe it's because I was his fucking editor. Obviously, the edits are gonna be the same. I was the one doing both of them. We make commentary videos. None of us are exactly reinventing the wheel here.
But pay attention to the thumbnail design.
However, the great irony of this point is that the very thumbnails on the streams that my thumbnails are being criticized on are the exact thumbnail style that somehow prove that Alex is mentoring me. And not only that, but Katiclyzm still continues to use the very thumbnails that she's criticizing me for to this day. By that logic, is she also being mentored by Alex? No, obviously not.
Wait a minute. How do you know? That could be the plot twist. So you have to ask yourself, is this just coincidence? Now, I know some of these people lack self-awareness, but you gotta be kidding me on this, right? This seems a little intentional. I could be wrong. Like I said, I know there's a lack of self-awareness with some of these call-out videos, but that seems intentional. You can't. This is a common YouTube thumbnail. It's just a commentator during the YouTube face and the subject of the video. It's like the commentator versus that person. It's a very simple design, it's easy to make, and it's very effective. Another thing to look out for is a sweeping generalization of the target's role in the community. Basically, this person doesn't need to be in this community.
If you watch the comments under the video, I guarantee you will happen again, with takes like, oh, he's just a YouTuber. Why does it matter? Or, so what if he's a conservative? Is that a problem? Which, the answer to that is yes. But the reason that I care is because this does not belong in horror, or anywhere. I care deeply about horror, and everything that he does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, just in public in general.
But if you can't handle the conversation of abuse with some class and decency and some kind of nuance, then you shouldn't be allowed to do it.
There's no way anyone's going to tell me this guy isn't having a blast. He is having the time of his life. He knows it and everybody knows it. He is putting everything into this. This is an act, and it's very obvious. This is an act. This is not real.
I'm just annoyed because why is the commentary scene full of absolute fucking morons? Lewis Buchan, you're a fucking idiot. You're a creep. Get offline. I hate you and you should not be online, you dirty scumbag. They just don't deserve platforms, do they? They don't.
Now, Lewis was a friend of Alex. He was in Alex's crew and they were collaborators. He had some allegations thrown his way, and I'll put a link in the description to that video and you can go down that rabbit hole. He did an apology video, which a lot of people seem to take pretty well, and he's actually back on the platform doing content. The thing is, if there really was a bad situation, like a straight up predator on YouTube looking for cupcakes, is this the person you want to tell you about it?
I'm confused on how so many of you are also confused. Alex is an abuser. Dankyjabo worked for him previously and is now defending him. It's really... I fear it's not that hard.
No, I am not, and I never have defended him. A follow on Instagram and a joke about the annoying orange do not count as a defense. You have no actual evidence of this claim because it's very obviously not true.
And my final point is they tend to try to police who you can follow on social media. Just like what In Praise of Shadows did to Wendigoon, they're doing the same thing here.
Another ridiculous piece of evidence that they use is that I still follow I'm Alex's Instagram account.
Also, what some people have noticed, which is what Katie alluded to in a video as well, is that Dankyjabo is still following Alex. So, this is true. If I had a look earlier before the stream, so Dankyjabo is following Alex and he's still followed by Alex as well. So they're still around each other. That's what I do know.
Apparently, and still now, Jesse followed and still follows I'm Alex.
Now, Dankyjabo was still following Alex.
So am I to believe that I'm close to Barack Obama, President Biden, Ben Shapiro, and Dr. Jordan Peterson, and they helped me with my YouTube channel? Because if that's the case, I'm about to call in some favors, because we about to make it out the hood, baby! Yeah! My point being, that's fucking stupid. Remember, the only reason that this is a controversy was because she tried to police who this guy could be friends with on social media. There was no problem until one was created.
The problem is he's making this content, and then this is how he actually treats a case that he is involved with, involving the abuse of a woman. Do you not see the problem there?
The only reason I am now involved in this is because you are insisting that I know these people when I worked for Alex briefly and I didn't know Alice at all. If it wasn't for your input, then I still would have nothing to do with any of this. You've made this a problem by making things up to get mad at, and you've been doing that the whole time. Katie even says this on her stream as justification for why she had to confront me.
But there are still speculation that he and Alex may be working together behind the scenes.
The only reason this speculation exists now is because of you. There were no rumors about any of this before you started harassing me publicly.
Yeah, go back. Well, they've deleted the videos now, but if you were to go back and follow this whole thing, it started with them. They literally made up a problem. They just made this up. And then they turned it into a controversy. Now, one might say, wow, that's crazy. Couldn't he sue for defamation? First off, let me make it clear, this is not legal advice, but technically, you can sue for anything. The question is, would you win? There's an argument that could be made that Jesse's a public figure, and that would actually make it harder for him to sue for defamation. And on top of that, the allegations were so baseless and so easily disproven, he would actually have to show that these allegations hurt him somehow. And I'm willing to bet they did just the opposite, because I'm now subscribed to him. Before this, I'd never heard of the guy. Now, I'm willing to bet a lot of other people subscribe to him too. Now, I'm only looking at this month, but if I'm reading this right, he lost about 9,000 subscribers between January 3rd and January 9th. And currently, it seems like he's recovered exactly around the same amount of followers. And we don't know what this weekend is like, but I'm going to assume that he's probably continuing to get more followers. And yes, he started regaining followers around the time he uploaded his response. Now, Lewis has over 300,000 subscribers, but he did lose about 6,000 this month. That being said, he was getting like 1,000 to 3,000 subs like every other day, so there's that. And what about Katiclyzm? What do you think happened to her channel? Think she lost a lot of subs? Nope, she gained. All this month, just gaining. So what does this prove? Apparently, if you're a good-looking lady with a bit of an accent, you could get away with anything. If you guys are wondering why YouTubers are doing this, well, now you see it. There's money to be made and subscribers to be had by just making shit up. The mainstream media does it. Why not YouTubers? Also, the fact that they were so quick to take the L on this after his response video says to me that they were already ready to take that L. That was the plan all along. They knew that these accusations were baseless. They knew the stuff they were saying was stupid. But again, the beauty of it, all the big commentary creators came out to debunk these videos, and it's a win for them too, because again, easily debunked with a little bit, just a little bit of actual digging. So it's kind of like an easy assignment for everybody. Mama Max levels of detective work needed for this one, and by that I mean very little. Now keep in mind that this is just as much conjecture as anything else. I don't know what was in these content creators' hearts, But you're never going to sell me on the idea that they really believed all of this stuff that they themselves made up. Do you know how batshit insane? And first off, McClung, it says that you're never going to convince me that he didn't know this was a bunch of bullshit. And Katiclyzm made half the shit up, so she had to know. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Again, you know, conjecture, it's my belief based on what I see here. This goes all the way back to some of the Ethan Online videos, Denims, even our boy Back Alley Ron Weasley. Everybody kind of knows the deal. It's rage bait, but just enough to get you to engage and follow. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's what you want, right? You want people to engage. You want people to follow. Leave comments, even if they tell you you're a nut job. Is it the best way to do it or the way you should do it? It's not my cup of tea, but then again, I am making a video about it. So who am I? You guys take it easy. Nathan Brandon Masters. Awesome.
Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn.